You want to know how I make some unique podcasts? If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. For one, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and they're easy to use. Anchor will distribute your podcast for free so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download your free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's really fun. Come and join the Renegade family, all right? Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Jane, and if you don't know, this is Rogue Radio, and I know that I have not uploaded in a while. I'm sorry. Busy being a bride. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to talk to some of you that listen about something that I saw today. For people who actually really know me, they know that if I see something that angers me, I gotta say something about it. So, I wouldn't say that this kind of angered me. I just kind of think this has kind of inspired me to talk about something that I think a lot of people have misconceptions about, and that's, like the role of men and women in church. So, and not just that, but in marriage and stuff like that. So, I saw something just now that kind of upset me. Now, I don't know whether it was an African-American church. I just know that the pastor was African-American. I don't know whether it was in a different country or not, or in the US. I don't even know if the article was even real. But what they were portraying kind of upset me. So, yeah, okay, I'll kind of act like it's real. Facebook and the internet have the tendency to lie, and I read the article, and I didn't even like read that much because the article wasn't that much. It was just about this picture of a man sticking cucumbers in a woman's mouth, teaching them how to do blowjobs in the middle of a congregation, in the middle of a sermon in church. And to me, that's like, okay, in my head, I'm like, well, what kind of context do you have in your sermon in order for you to think that that was okay to do that to the women of your church, for one? Two, was it because you were trying to teach women that it's okay to always please men no matter what, no matter how degrading it was to the woman? Or was it you were trying to teach women to stay off the streets and be not to be prostitutes by teaching them to do this so that they would stay off the streets? In any of those scenarios, even ones that I didn't even name, I think that the act that this pastor did was completely and utterly wrong and disturbing. Okay? 'Cause, for one, I don't believe a woman should be treated in that way. Or a man, okay? I have respect for men. I have respect for women. And I believe that men should respect women, and women definitely should respect men, okay? I just believe in equality. I believe in that. I believe in a holy marriage. I believe in, men and women respecting each other mutually, even if they're not married. But what I'm trying to say is, that was wrong. As a pastor, that was wrong, bro. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you stuck cucumbers in women's mouths just so you could teach them how to do a blowjob. What kind of that's not your responsibility to teach a woman to do that, even if they wanted to. And for one, that's not in your job description. And two, you shouldn't have even done that in the first place, because that's demeaning to women. And nowadays, it's more women demeaning men because of the feminist movement, the new feminist movement, okay? I call it the feminazi movement. I don't care what anybody else says. It's the feminazi movement. Because women are now demeaning men, taping their dirty pads to their husbands' faces, saying, this is what I go through. No, shut up. You're hurting your husband. You're hurting your man. You're hurting him emotionally. You're scarring him emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically. And, okay, if you're a feminist or a feminazi and you got a man who treats you with respect, call yourself lucky, okay, for one, okay? That's not okay, okay? And to the man that is married to a feminazi, run. Leave, okay? I am talking about a woman that wants to dominate over a man. That's, no, okay? I'm old-fashioned, okay? I believe in the Bible. I believe in the scripture of men love your men love your wives, wives obey your husbands. That's what I was trying to say. I kind of got confused. But, I believe in that scripture. I'm not sure where it's at, but the way I was taught in my old church, okay, I don't go to church anymore. I have a house ministry that I go to, and I love it so much. I'm part of it. It's amazing. And, but the church that I used to go to taught me the meaning of that scripture, okay? Women have the right to obey the husband. Husbands have the right to obey the wife, or the right to love the wife. Okay, let's try the obeying part, okay? Actually, let's start with the husband part. Husbands, love your wives, okay? What does love mean in the Bible, right? The whole Corinthians scripture, love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, does not keep a tally against wrongs that you did with against each other and stuff like that. So it's got that example of what love should be. The man is supposed to treat the woman with respect and love. He's supposed to treat the woman with respect. Treat her like a woman. Treat her like a queen. Treat her like this. Treat her like you love her. Okay? Treat her with respect. Love her. Care for her. Be with her. Make sure that you're gentle with her. Make sure that you love her and, nurture her. And the woman, okay, naturally will obey your leadership because of the love that you give to her. Okay, there's 2 reasons why a woman wouldn't obey her husband. 1, she's a Jezebel. 2, her husband isn't aligned with Christ. Now, when I say this, I mean we're all human. Women do this too. Wives do this too. Okay? Our path that we walk on with each other as husband and wife, we walk together. We don't walk in front of each other, behind each other, whatever, okay? The man may lead, but they're still holding hands together side by side, okay? They're one body, they're one person, okay? If the husband strays away from that path that God has paved for both of them, the woman has every right, okay? I wouldn't say disobey, okay? I will not say disobey. I believe that if your husband, ladies, strays away from the path of Christ, you have every right to gently lead him back. Okay? It's like the woman is the GPS and the man is the driver. Kind of. The woman knows where to go. The man is, doing that. Sometimes. There's sometimes that happens. Just because even in, in the wife situation, the wife may stray away from the path of Christ. And it is the man's job to lead her back. It is I wouldn't say it's a symbiotic relationship. I wish there was a different way of saying it. But it is a give and take situation where, you see your husband struggling, lead him back, encourage him, raise him up, be that wife. Okay, keep going. All right. The woman strays away from that path. The men, bring her back, lift her up, help her out, lead her through. Okay, help her out. It is all about helping each other. It's not all about the men treating the woman like a queen and the women not doing anything for the man. It's not all about the woman obeying the man and the man being the dominant male in the family to where he's always being obeyed no matter what, no matter whether it's right or wrong. The woman is not allowed to be a slave to her husband, and the husband definitely should not be a slave to her or to his wife. Okay? And so this whole thing, going back to the news segment that I saw, okay, I don't believe that pastors should exude that type of personality to where a pastor thinks it's okay to teach a woman how to do a blowjob. I don't believe that was his responsibility. I don't believe that was his right. I don't even believe he was not allowed to do that. He was never allowed to do that, no matter what context it was. In general, men should care about women, okay? In this context, okay? Off context, listen, women, don't abuse men either, okay? Don't disrespect men, don't demean men. All right? We may be different sexes, okay? We may be different people. But respect and love and care for each other, whether or not you are married or in a relationship or whatever. If you're just a man and a woman that works together in an office, respect each other. I mean, honestly, if you don't like the person, that's fine, but respect them. Because they're working, they're doing what they have to do. With this pastor, respect your congregation for God's sakes, okay? Now that I'm done speaking to everybody in every different category, I'm going to talk about the pastor, okay? Pastors, listen, I may not be a pastor, I may not be a preacher, but I've been in church for about 28 years of my life to know that shoving a cucumber in a woman's mouth is not good sermon material. I don't even care. I don't even care if it wasn't in your sermon. That's disgusting. I don't like that. I don't like the look of that because you're teaching women that it's okay to do that with men. Okay? I don't even care if it's with your husband. If it's with your husband, that's between you and your husband to talk about. I'm saying you're teaching women, okay? Whether or not they're girlfriends, wives, or friends, or anybody, you're teaching women how to do this. That is disgusting. Why do you think? Why did you think that was okay for you to do to your congregation? Was it to make the women submissive into your for your whims and your depravity? I don't even know. The thing is that it's really hard to actually make a statement on this piece just because of how small the article was. But I only got a picture. Of a pastor shoving a cucumber into a woman's mouth. That is wrong. Any pastor, I don't care. Any pastor who thinks that this is okay, you need to get down on your knees and pray to God, for one. Okay? God needs you to be in check. Okay? Maybe you need to talk to your wife if you got a wife, okay? and ask if that's okay, because she'll probably most likely say no. Anyway, another article that I've seen before, and I've actually listened to a tape that my dad had a long time ago of this church. I don't know where it is. I think it might have been in Tennessee. But I'm pretty sure there's multiple churches in America that do this in different countries. But there are people, pastors and churches that actually take up rattlesnakes and kind of show their dominance over rattlesnakes and try to put the fear of God in snakes. I'm gonna tell you the little story that my dad had on tape that he thought it was really funny a long time ago. It was a pastor that went to one of these snake churches, and I remember him saying, like, there was a big box in front of the podium, and there would be either, like, the pastor would, have a sermon, and then there was a woman that took out the snake. I don't know whether it was a rattlesnake or what, but the article that I had read was about a rattlesnake. But, excuse me, this story that I'm talking about that was on tape, that my dad probably still has, it was about a woman taking the snake from the box and swinging it around, beating it on certain things, stomping on it with her bare foot, putting her bare foot on top of its head, and getting nose to nose with it, and just showing that she has no fear for the snake, basically. And I remember at one point in the story, he talks to the pastor, and the lady comes up and she goes, well, you mean to tell me that if God didn't... How did she say this? I swear. She said, you mean to tell me that if God told you to take up the snake, you wouldn't take him up? And he goes, yes, ma'am, I surely would, but he didn't, and I ain't, And apparently it was supposed to be a funny story, but this actually exists, to where there are pastors and there are people in church that keep snakes in order to show that they have no fear of the devil at all. Honestly, do I believe that we have spiritual dominance over animals? Yes. Do I believe that we should act stupid and treat them like this and not expect to be bitten? No, I don't think we should do that. Just because there's like a level of knowledge that you should have to where you have the spiritual dominance over animals. Yes, that even says that in the Bible, that we are masters of the animals. We're we are the rulers of animals. We are dominant over them. But the fact that you are taking up a rattlesnake, okay, and you're swinging it around and expecting it not to bite you out of retaliation, I don't think that's right, honestly. Just because God gave you the knowledge to know common sense, for one, and two, you know that a rattlesnake bites and it's got venom and it could, most likely kill you. So why would you decide to take up the snake at all if you know God gave you the knowledge not to do that? But there was a pastor that had one of these snake churches, okay, and he took up the snake and the snake bit him. And he even refused to go to the hospital because he believed that God would heal him. Listen, if you put yourself into a stupid situation, I'm not saying that God's not gonna help you I am saying that God is probably wondering why on earth you decided to do this in the first place. Because God, like I said, gave you common sense, so why did you decide to do this anyway? You know that the rattlesnake is poisonous. You know if you mess with it, you're gonna get bitten. And if you get bitten and you don't get help, you're either gonna lose your limb or you're gonna die. So, get help. I mean, I know God created medicine for a reason. I mean, get help, honestly. So that was one thing. That was like the second segment that I wanted to talk about. And another one I wanted to talk about, which was, I think last year I saw of a bunch of pastors and a bunch of religious leaders actually going to an abortion clinic and blessing it. Okay. To be perfectly honest, I'm a pro-life person. I believe that I believe at the day of conception, at the moment of conception, there is life. And I believe that every child, unborn or born, every person has the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's our natural rights. Okay? I do not believe that you should take the life of a child out of selfish gain or selfish motives. I also have been educated at one point that there are some girls as young as 11 or 8 years old that are getting pregnant and their bodies are not capable of birthing, let alone carrying a child, and they would die. Now, it is very hard for me to say that I am pro-life in that situation just because it's a child having a child. But then again, I still stand with being pro-life just because I know it's the right thing. And I'm not saying that children having children shouldn't have the right to save their lives. I have no say in that just because I don't know God's stand on that yet. So I'm not going to talk about that. But I am saying that I see what people are saying in that context, in that point, in that situation to where abortion is okay. But I would never say that because I don't know if that's right. You know what I mean? Because I don't believe in abortion. I don't care about abortion. I hate abortion. So for someone who has said that to me, it kind of makes me think a little bit about that. But not to the point where I would say abortion is okay, because I don't see it as okay at all. And a lot of people may say that I am pro-murder because of that, because of children having children. Listen, I only go by what God says is okay, what God says is right. And I know from my experience of reading the Bible that life should be cherished. And if you mistreat these children, you should, it's just as bad as having a millstone, tied around your neck and being thrown into the ocean. I don't want to be that person. Okay? So if I am not educated enough in the Bible to know that me saying something is okay to do when I know it's wrong, I'm not going to say it unless I'm educated enough to say that, and that God gives me confirmation to say that. So I'm not going to say it, basically. But back to the story. Apparently a bunch of pastors, a bunch of, religious leaders were blessing this abortion clinic. Don't know what reason they would do that, because, like I said, children are very cherished in the Bible. They're children, they're our future, and I don't understand why anyone would want to abort a child, because it's just wrong. I've seen so many, I've read a lot of articles, I've read a lot of things and seen a lot of videos of things, and I don't believe that a child that is in the womb, that is about to be aborted, I don't believe a child doesn't experience pain in the womb, because it's even been proven that they do. And that's why I say no, I hate abortion. I don't like it, period. I don't care. I hate that. I hate it because in my eyes, I want to be a mother someday. So when I see that happening. They have ultrasounds on YouTube that I have seen of aborted children. And the child is trying to get away from the needle and from anything. Like, I know that there's some sort of type of abortion where they take a needle and they, like, skewer the child. It's disgusting. And I saw it and it was heartbreaking to me. Like, the child was trying to get away from the needle. The child was smart enough in the womb to know that that was danger. So, how dare you, pastors, try to make it okay? How dare you? The pastors that did this, how dare you decide to bless an abortion clinic that you know is murder? That is awful. And I have no respect for anyone, any pastor who thinks that that is okay in any context. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for that. That's fine. Okay? Like I said in a context before, babies having babies. I don't know if it's okay. I don't know if it's okay to have abortions when 8-year-old children are pregnant. I don't know. Okay? Will I say that it's okay when I believe it's okay? Yeah, if God says that it's okay. But right now, God is saying flat out no to me. In my experience, like, that is not okay to me, to even take a child's life. And honestly, I apologize. I don't know if God's saying no. I don't know if God is saying yes, that's okay in that context. I don't believe that God would even say that. But that is up for me to find out in my relationship with God. So, right now, I don't know. I don't know if an 8-year-old child having a child should abort a child. Because that child is a child that's having it. I don't know if that's okay. So yes, no, I will say I don't know. If I don't know, I will say I don't know. I won't sit here and act like I know something for a fact when I don't. But one thing I do know for a fact, period, okay? Abortion is murder in my eyes. And I don't think that it's right to take a life. But that's it. That's all I kind of wanted to talk about. There's just certain ministries lately that have been kind of upsetting me lately, and I just needed to say something. Yeah. Pastors, don't ever think that it's okay to mistreat the women in your congregation. Pastors, don't take up the snake, please. It'll bite you. We're not trying to reenact the Bible, okay? I mean, the Bible has already been acted out in order for us to learn from it. I don't believe that God would want us to do that unless He's called you to do that. Because you taking up the snake, you just have to have common sense. I mean, if you take it up and you mess with it and you try to be violent with it, of course it's gonna come back and bite you. That's just how snakes are. That's their natural behavior. And yeah, like I said, to me, abortion's wrong in a certain context. It is very wrong. In the other context, like I've said, I don't know. But do I believe that pastors should bless abortion clinics? Absolutely not. I don't think that should ever be okay in any form at any time. But that's my show. I will see you guys later. Thank you for listening.